סייעתא דשמיא ברכה לנו ולכל ישראל כל הימים. אמן כן יהי רצון. דברי התורה יהיו לעילוי נשמת עמרם ואני בן חיה עלינה בתוך כל שאר נפטרי ונפטרות עמו ישראל. This week it's Shabbat Chazak. We are ending the Torah basically. Why I'm saying it? Because the fifth book of the Torah is a reviewing. It's called Mishneh Torah. Means basically the Torah is ending Sefer Bamidbar. Bamidbar is the end of the Torah. And then the Torah, Moshe is reviewing the whole Torah. And if you will pay attention and you will think about this book, Bamidbar, is called Bamidbar. And you know what is amazing? That Midbar and Medaber is the same shoresh and the same letters. Means Medaber is talking. And if you're looking in this Chumash, you will find that the all scenes that happened in that Chumash was about the speech, about talks. First, Mitonenim. They was complaining. How many times they complained? Miriam was talking Lashon Hara about Moshe Rabbeinu. Meragelim, they was talking against Eretz Israel. Korach, he was talking against Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe by himself, he didn't talk to the rock. Instead to talk, he hid. Again the sin of Dibur. Look at in the old stories in this Chumash, you have one connection. What is it? The speech. And the end of Sefer Bamidbar and with the halachot of the speech about promise, swears. Parashat Matot talks about Rabotai Ekari, the power of the words, the power of the mouth of the Jewish man. And the strongest vessel that you have and the strongest tools that a person has is his mouth. It is tongue, the speech. To see how strong it is and how powerful and how serious and severe is the talk. We know that the Mishnah in Masei Arachim mentioned that if a person convinces a lady to do it in me'avera, it's called mefateh. What is the halacha? How much he has to pay the father? 50 coins. But if a person talks bad about a lady, he has to pay 100 coins. I don't understand. But Mutzi Shema talking bad, it's worse than doing an action. You see from here that yes, talks, they worse than action. Because what we can destroy with talking, with talks, has almost unlimited options than one who can destroy with our actions. And we have a cute story. It's a mashal, it's a parable that is brought down in the book that is called Sefer HaIzraeli. He said that a person, he likes, to go to adventures. He likes to go to the forest and to enjoy, discover. These people that they like to go to see nice stuff, nice places. And one day he was in the forest, he saw a lion. The first reaction was, but he saw that he's a nice lion. He's not attacking, he's staying, he's not. After all, he's a lion, he stay away. But every day, when he get used to come to that place and to saw the lion, he felt close enough to that lion. And every time he used to bring a lunch for him, he brought also a lunch for a lion. The lion, he used to throw him, some pieces of meat. And little by little, they become very close. And he used to caress the lion. The lion sat next to him in the, lunch every day. One day, says the Midrash, he was eating and the lion next to him, and every day he brought to him, some food. And after they finished to eat, the lion put his head on the lap of this guy. He wanted to take a little nap afternoon, between 2 and 4. And he's caressing his hair, it's calming down. and חוץ מכבודכם, he burned. And he made, some burp and not so good smell come out from his mouth. Said the Midrash, the guy said, whoo, Shem Yerachem, what is that? Kaparat avonot. Is that nice? No? Smelling good. And the lion made himself like he's still sleeping. But after, when he wake up, he told the guy, I have a big headache. He says, and what you want? I don't have, Tylenol to give you, and anyway, you need the whole box, and I don't know if it will help a guy like you. No, he told him, with us, it's working in a different way. This guy was a chotev etzim. He used to, cut woods and to Lumberjack. And what happened, Rabotai Karim? The lion is telling him, you know what you have to do? Take the axe that you have and give me wahad bomba on my head. That is taking away my pain. He said, no, I'm not doing that. He said, what, you're not doing it? I'm telling you that what is helping me. The Tylenol and the all, Motrin is not helping me. That is helping the lions. You have to eat the head. And in that way, the headache will move out. He said, I cannot do it, you my friend. He says, if you're not doing it, my friend, I will eat you. He says, okay. If that's what he wants, he give him wahad makah, big hit in his head, and he was bleeding from all over, and he ran away from the place. For a few days, the guy was so upset. Where is the lion? Maybe he killed him. It was his friend. He was close with him. But after a few days, when he came back to the forest, he saw the lion. The lion came, and he told him, oh, my friend, where you was all this time? He says, you see my now scar that he had in his head? He said, you see it? Yeah. And you see that, Baruch Hashem, he get close, and you have a little, blood there, but it's okay. He said, yes. You feel good? He says, yes. He told him, I want to tell you, you see that that you ate me with that axe, that passed. I don't feel anymore the pain. But the word that you told me last time, and you was embarrassing me, I'm still feeling the hurt. It's still hurting me. Means to hit the body of somebody, it's hurting, but it will pass after a few days. But when you hit the feelings of somebody, that stay forever. It's very hard. And the Torah Kedosha in this week parasha is talking about the power of the speech, Rabotai Karim. And everyone giving a special respect and value to the speech. And what is the proof? You see people that they're getting cursed by somebody, they're so upset. Why are you upset? Who cares about what he said? Why you care if somebody curses you? Who is Baba Sali? Who is Moshe Rabbeinu, Eliyahu Navi? Let him say what he wants. No, but you see people, they're getting super upset when somebody is cursing them. Why? Because inside, we know very well that the war has a big power. We know it. The reason why, Rabotai Karim, is very simple. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, says the Torah Kedosha Bereshit, bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Hashem itbarach, ishtabach ve'yitalei, created the world. And how Hashem created the world? With speech. He talks. Asher b'ma'amaro, by speaking, by talking, bara shechakim. He creates the all heavens. Uberuach piv kol tzeva'ah. Says Rabotenu, and in the same way that the pasuk says Bereshit bara Elokim, says the pasuk Betzelem, in the same image of Elokim bara et Adam. The human being, he was created, he was made in the same image of God. What does that mean? Says Rabotenu, like Hashem Yitbarach, Ishtabach Shemo La'ad. His tools, his way to build, to create, was by talking. We, Am Israel, and all the human beings, they have this ability to create by talking, Rabotai. Sometimes we don't give enough importance and appreciation to the words that we are mentioning, that we're talking. But says Rabotenu, words creating. Today it's a fact, it's already proved by sciences, that the speech, the talk, has a big power. And I told you once that I went to a greenhouse of one of my members in Eretz Israel from the shul. And this guy, he used to live in the Gush Katif. And he had a big greenhouses there. And when they moved them from there, it took time, but at the end they gave them some spots, some lands in the place that it's called Nitzanim, Chovlot Nitzanim, Nitzana. And he built also another greenhouses, few of them. One day, when he told me, come. And he put in the greenhouse, when you came into the greenhouse, you was listening to a classic music. Classic music. I told him for who that? It's for the Philippines, the Thailandis, that they walking, they like classic music. He told me, no, it's for the tomatoes. I told him, what does it mean? He says, that since we put the music to the tomatoes, they giving us triple produce. They producing triple from the beginning. He says, the plants reacting to music, reacting to talks, to speech. When you see people that they behaving nice next to a plant and they talking nice, you are creating and you are making a big impact. Bring me please the book of Rav Zamir Cohen. You know where the book of Rav Zamir Cohen is? In the library. I will show you, Rabotai Ekarim, a real research that was made. I think the name is from Professor Kuzo Amuto in Japan. Goy, not Yehudi at all. He made a research by himself years ago. You have it in the video, but he will bring me the book from Rav Zamir Cohen. And this guy, he took drops of water, of liquid, he put them in the freezer, but before, he took these drops and he said next to each drop, different words. Next to one drop, he said, I love you. Next to the other drop, he said, how beautiful you are. Next to the other one, he said, how ugly you are. And then the other drop, he said, I will kill you. Drops. He put it in the freezer, and you have this, it's called salachat, special tray, a glass, but it's a glass that you're putting inside in the freezer, and you can after check with the telescope what you have inside of the glass. He had it in the telescope, he checked it. He's showing pictures what is the reaction of the drops of water for the words that he mentioned next to them. And you see in the microscope. In the microscope, you see it in an amazing way. Beautiful, shapes when it's about good word that it was said next to that drops. You will see it in picture if we bring it. We have the book upstairs. You know where is it? The Ma'apach, the books of Rav Zamir Cohen. You know the books? In the library. Bekitzur, Rabotai Ekarim. Bekitzur, you see in the pictures that when he said nice words next to that water, regular water, the shape of this drop was amazing, like diamonds. Mamash pele play. But when you see the other drops, and that is a goy, is Rabotai Ekarim recording, and everything is already proved from sciences, goyim. You see how ugly is the drop of the water. The same water, he took few drops, he put it, in that plate, and he put it in the freezer, and then you check with the microscope, and you see the difference. And he says that is the power and the strength of Rabotai, the words of the human being. Thing number one. And if that is Rabotai for simple water, imagine how big is the reaction when a person is talking good next to somebody else. How good, look at here. That is Rabotai Ekarim, the effect of sound waves on matter. That is the research. You can after look at, and I will show you the pictures. This is the professor in the university in Japan, and he took, you see these plates, little plates. He put there a lot of drops of water, and next to each drop, he said a word. Now, what is the reaction? Look at that, Rabotai Ekarim. Look at this beautiful crystal. It's a drop of water. That is the drops. Next to each one is another word. Next to this, drop, you know what he said? Thank you very much. Next to this one, he says, love and appreciation. And next to this one, he said the word soul, neshama. Look at the reaction. And now, look at the reaction of these drops that he said, bad words next to them. I will kill you, you ugly, I don't like you. Rabotai, it's sciences. It's a goy, he's not a Yehudi. It's proof. Now, what Rav Zamir Cohen did, he took it one step more. You know, when you take some little seeds or beans and you put them on a cotton with a little water, what start to grow? You see, they start to, it's called linvot. They start to grow. Look at this. He took 3 cups of water. One, he said a beracha next to the cup. One, he just said nice word, and the other one, he didn't say nothing. And he was watering the cotton with the beans. That cotton, it's a cotton that was watered with a water that he said nice word next to the water, a beracha, a blessing. Look at how much it grew. This one, he said just something, he didn't say nothing. And next to this one, he said something bad. And look at the reaction. This one gets spoiled, didn't go at all. This one that he said good words, you can try it at home. I'm allowed you, Rabotai, that you can try at home. That you are allowed to do it. And he said, look at the reaction. That is the reaction, Rabotai Karim, when you are talking something nice next to a material, next to Rabotai water. Imagine what happened when you are talking something good, something nice next to a human being. One of our bodies is reacting to the good words. The food that we are eating, imagine that you saw now, when you say something good next to a food, how good the food is reacting when you are eating this food, how good is helping and is acting for your body. And imagine when you're talking bad things next to food, next to water, or you're getting angry and you're screaming or cursing Barminan, and you're drinking that water, how bad is reacting, how bad is affecting your body. That is Rabotai proof, again, that Yehudim even. Mikol melamedai iskalti, Hashem showed it for us to understand that what our Rabbi told us and what our Rabbi teaches us is true, is emet le'amita. One of our members is coming to learn with us every morning, Eric Kaminov. You know Eric Kaminov, Allah, they know him. He's with us here every morning. He told me that he had 2 plants in the entrance of his home, and never there was growing. There was, always. And one day he started to see that they're growing amazing. They're growing nice. He told his wife, what is the secret? What happened? She told him, I will tell you what happened. Every time that I'm getting to the car, I'm saying beracha on water, I'm opening a water bottle, I'm drinking a little, and I'm leaving the bottle. What happened usually after? You're not drinking again, because you leave it during the day or 2 days, you drink in the garbage. She said to the husband, I decided, why to throw the water? Chaval, let's water with this water the plants. She said, and since I start to water the plants with that water that I used to say, beracha she'akol niya bidvaro, and that is the leftover of the water, look at what's going on. Rabotai, that is the power of the speech. After, take a look in the book, Rabotai Karim. I remember I read it when I was 10 years old, this research. Amazing. Pele, Rabotai, Pele. How powerful is the speech. And you know why? Because Hashem Yitbarach, when He created the world and He created the human being, He gave to the human being the same power and the same strength of Hashem Yitbarach. And like we mentioned, Hashem Yitbarach, He created the world with the speech. He created the world with that power that it's called talks words. He gave to the human being, Ki betzelem Elohim asa et ha'adam. We have the same power. Imagine how much we can build in a person, in a child, when you are saying good words. And how bad we can cause and to degrade somebody when you are mentioning negative words. A good word, they building a world. Negative words, they ממש מביאים חורבן, distracting completely the whole world, רבותיי. It's a fact. You know that in the city of Petach Tikva, they had a famous cemetery. It's called Segula Cemetery. Segula Cemetery. Rabotai Ikarim, in that cemetery that they established and they started in Tafresh Memtet, more than 130 years ago, around that, they start this cemetery. And you know, to start a place of a cemetery, it's not that you decided, I want to bury here people and done. No, you have a process. You have a procedure that you have to pass. Means you have to come with 10 people to surround the place, to mention some psukim. You have to sanctify the place to be a place for kevurah. You cannot bury everyone you have where you want. Rabotai Karim, in that cemetery you have a grave, a tombstone. And in the tombstone, it says the follow. I will read it for you and I will show you even maybe the picture. It said in this tombstone, Brit Kruta Lasfatayim. Brit Kruta Lasfatayim means the lips has a big power that they can cause a reality. And that's what the story says. Is the grave. That is the grave, Rabotai Karim. This is the grave in Segula, in Petach Tikva, Segula Cemetery. I'm reading for you and together with you what is written. Listen to that. הנפטר הראשון בבית הקברות הזה. The first man that was buried in that cemetery. איש ישר, straight man, בר אוריין, he was a תלמיד חכם, Rabbi Nisan, Rabbi Nisan Leib, his name was Rabbi Nisan Leib Bar, the son of Chaim Zal Gimzu, from Pinks. איש גלמודי שעלה לארץ ישראל. He was a lonely man that he came to ארץ ישראל. יחד עם בני עירו, together with his, community from his city in Pinks in Europe, they came to this place was Petach Tikva. והתבטא, and he was saying 10 days before he passed, בהיותו בריא ושלם, when he was full healthy and strong, לפני פטירתו, ואמר שהוא לא היה מתנגד להיות הראשון בבית הקברות הזה. He said he will be not against to be the first one to be buried in that cemetery. What happened? They came, this group of people, and they surround the place. They made all the process, like you made the procedure that you have to make before you are designating a place for kevurah. And one of the guys, he was making a joke. It was a new place. Nobody was buried there. And the guy, he said, very interesting to know who will be the first one to be buried here. And that guy, you see the picture, Rabotai, it's still today. You can go to the cemetery, you will see it. It's a picture of the grave, the tombstone. He said, I will be not, against to be the first one buried in that place. He was healthy, strong, everything was okay. 10 days after he passed away, and he's the first man in that cemetery that was buried there. להיות הראשון בבית הקברות הזה. Learn from that, רבותיי היקרים, how rabbis, how serious is the speech? How serious, רבותיי היקרים, is what we are saying? It's not a joke. This old man, that he was healthy and everything was okay with him, because he said that he get it. What you see from here, that what Rabotenu mentioned and what Rabotenu said, that when a person is saying Chaz v'Shalom something is causing it, and when a person is saying something is creating it, that's what happened to him. Rabotai Karim, says Rabbeinu Agadol, Baal HaTurim, in Sefer Bereshit, says Reuven to Yaakov Avinu. You remember when Yaakov Avinu, he was a little concerned about sending Binyamin with his brothers to Mitzrayim. Reuven came to the father and he told him, Abba, No worries. Give me Binyamin. The father told me, I'm very worried. I'm very scared. You know what happened already to his brother Yosef? You know what happened already with his mom? Both of them I lost in the way. I know that this family, the family of Rachel, they have a big sakana during the way. They're in a big danger when it's away. Rachel passed away on the way. Yosef HaTzadik sent him to see what happened with his brother on the way and disappeared. Now you want to take this guy also on the way? I don't want it. Says Reuven to his father, no worries. Abba, I promise you, if I will not bring him back, kill. He said that he allowed his father to kill his two children. Et shene banai tamid, that's what he said. Says the Rav Baal HaTurim. Yaakov was so upset. Says, what you think? What you talking about? What, you children is not my children? You children not my grandchildren? What do you mean I will kill you children? No. That is not smart enough. I'm sorry. I'm not giving you Binyamin. But says Rabotenu, listen to what the Baal HaTurim is mentioning. He says, we find in the Old Tanakh twice the word Tamid. First here, Et Shene Banai Tamid. Second place, it's in the Iyov book. The Pasuk says, Ufote Tamid Kin'ah. Says the Rav, the Midrash is mentioning this on Korach and his group. Ufote Tamid Kin'ah. Who was dying because jealousy? Korach. Says the Rav, Bishvil she'amar Shene Banai Tamid. Because Reuven told Yaakov Avinu that if he will not bring back Binyamin, Yaakov will kill both of his children. Nitkayem b'shnei banav. This curse affect his children, not his children, his grandchildren. Who was the two grandchildren of Reuven that they died because the curse of Reuven? Datan and Aviram. Says the Rav, look at how amazing it is. Et Shenei, Gematria 761. 761, it's the Gematria of Et Shenei. That is the same Gematria of Hem, Datan, Va'aviran with the three words, with the Kolel. Et Shenei is Datan, Va'aviran Gematria with the three words. If now they will ask you, what happened to the Datan and Aviram? Why they got punished in that way? Why they get, swallowed underground and they die? You know why? Because 100 years before, the grandfather, Reuven, cursed his two children. And even though that didn't affect his own children, but affect his grandchildren. You know, Rabotai, Karim, the Gemara in Masechet Kohen Katan, Moed Katan is learning from the Pasuk Brit Kruta Lasfatayim that it's not only to the negative way, also to the positive way. You know, like we mentioned that the speech has the power to destroy, and like we saw in the pictures, we saw it together, that good words creating good, bad words creating bad. When you always wishing good to somebody, you will create a good mazal to that person. When you will say to somebody you will be successful, you will be blessed, you will have beracha, you are creating it. When you're wishing good, you're bringing good. If the Hasidim, they used to say, if you think good, will be good and will be good. Imagine if you are talking good, how much will be? How good will be? Says the Gemara in Moed Katan, page 18. Avraham Avinu is going with his son to the Akedah. He is going to slaughter his son. That's what he had in his mind. Says the Pasuk, Vayomer Avraham el Ne'arav. Avraham is talking to his servant, to his two helpers, and he's telling them, Shevu lachem po, stay here, im hachamor, va'ani ve'anar nashuva. And me and the nar, the teenager, means Yitzchak will come back. Says the Gemara, and that's what happened at the end. Yitzchak came back with Avraham Avinu. You know why? Because that's what Avraham Avinu wished. Even though that Avraham Avinu was going in mind that he's going to kill Yitzchak, but because he said the Gemara, he calls it. When you wish good, you're creating good. Says the Gemara, it's not the Gemara, Masechet Moed Katan, says Rabbi Yochanan. And the Gemara mentioned in the same idea, but that in the other way. It's a Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin. And to see how strong is the power of the speech. One of the Melachim, the kings of Am Israel, was the king Yehu. Yehu was a holy king. He was a tzaddik king. And the Pasuk says about the Yehu, the king Yehu in the Navi Melachim, Veyehu lo shamar lalechet betorat Hashem Elokei Israel bechol levavo. Lo sar me'al chatot Yerovam asher achti et Israel. As the Gemara, but we know that Yehu, he killed all the false prophets. He killed all of them. And he tried to bring back the Torah and the Emunah to Am Israel, and he did it. Why the Pasuk said that Yehu, he wasn't following the ways of Hashem Yitbarach? What happened to him as the Gemara? As the Gemara, my Garmale, he was holy, he was a tzaddik. What caused Yehu to switch at the end of his life? Says the Gemara the follow. Yehu knows that in Am Israel we have a lot of false prophets. He knew that. And he wanted to kill all the Nevi'ei HaSheker. He wanted to kill them. But in the same time, he knew if he would try to start to look at where the Nevi'ei HaSheker, they will run away, they will escape, they will hide themselves. What Yehu did, he had the amazing plan. He put a sign, and he wrote in the sign, said the Gemara, Achav avad et ha'Baal me'at. Achav, he was serving the Baal, the Avodah Zarah Lidl. Yehu is going to serve the Avodah Zarah a lot. Wow. In that day, we have a big convention. All the Nevi'ei Sheker, all the false prophets, they invited only with diploma. You cannot come in if you are not graduated. Huh? Graduated from the school of the Nevi'ei Sheker. And you have to bring the certificate. Says the Gemara, when they came there, he makes sure that everyone that is in is a Nevi Baal. And he told them to dress in the same, special clothing. Let's say, he asked everyone to dress with a red, like a robe. And when everyone was there, he asked, did somebody here is not a real Nevi Baal? Everyone says, Our Majesty, everyone here is a real Navi Baal, a real Navi Sheker. They didn't say Sheker, Navi Baal. He says, close the doors. And he gave an order to the soldiers already from before. When he will close the door, they will enter and they will slaughter everyone. And they kill all of them. But says the Gemara, even though that he had a good intention, but because he mentioned Achav works the Baal a little, Yehu will work more, that happened to him at the end of his life. He mentioned something bad about himself, affect him at the end of his life. He was a good Navi. He was a good Melech. He was a good king. Look at what happened to him. Says the Rabbi in this book, Niflaot HaSicha, a story about a family that they marry a son, and lo alechem, in the wedding, the mother collapsed and she passed away. Everyone was shocked. In the middle of the wedding of her son, she passed away. They were shocked. And they tried to understand what's going on, what caused her to pass away, Hashem Yerachem. You know what they realized? And the family said in the Shiva, they said the following. This Chatan, he suffered a lot. First, he got married when he was very, very old. And then he got divorced, lo alechem. And then he got married to a second lady, and the lady passed away. And he had so much sorrow in his life. And the mom, his mom is Kena, she saw her son suffering so much, she said, I just want to see him in his wedding and to pass away. I don't need more than that. I just want to see him in his wedding and to pass away. And that's exactly what happened. She saw the chuppah and she passed away. Says Rabbi, why you talk bad? Why you saying bad things? Always be positive. Always use the power of the speech in a positive way, Rabotai Ikari. Ay. if you will know the power of our speech, if you will know the power, Rabotai Karim, of the talks, we'll be so careful. And always we'll use our speech only to say good things, always good wishes, always to raise up people and not to put down people, because the word has a lot of power. Rabotai Karim, few years ago, they had a big protest in Yerushalayim for Shabbat. Like now, they have a lot of protests. You know that Rabbi Yonatan, alav shalom, he was the Ram in the yeshiva of Porat Yosef, and he was very kanai. Rav Moshe Tzadka, the son of Rabbi Yonatan, was also very kanai. He's very zealot. Till today. Kanai, Avodat Hashem.
He broke my friend's phone, smashed it.
Yeah, when you see a smartphone, you cannot go to him with a smartphone. He will kick you out from the house. You have to know that. He against that. Bekitzu, he say, he break it from all everyone. He did abet abedun et avodah zara.
90-something years old.
Bekitzu, Rabotai Ekari, his father, Rabbi Yehuda Tzadka, alav hashalom zchuto tagen aleinu. He was a rabbi, a ram, in the yeshiva of Porat Yosef. In that time, who was the Rosh Yeshiva? Rav Ezra Atiyeh, the Rosh Yeshiva of Maran Rabbeinu Ovadia, Rav Shabtai Yatun, Rabben Zion Abasha, all the great Gdolei Ador of the Sfaradim, all the Gdolei Ador, they were his students. Rav Ezra Atiyeh, Zechuto Tagen Aleinu. When Rabbi Yehuda Tzadka saw that the Kanoim, they making the Afghanot, the protests in Yerushalayim, in Kikar HaShabbat, he came to the rabbi, and he told the rabbi, Rav Ezra Atiyeh, Rav Ezra, why we not protesting also? He told him, it's dangerous, you know. The police officers, they're not good people. They're beating up. They're beating the Bachurim. You see, it's not only from today. It was already 7 years ago. They're beating the Bachurim. It's sakana. And the rabbi, Rabbi Yehuda Tzadka, told his rabbi, Rav Ezra Atiyeh, בסדר, Rabbi, it's okay, but לכבוד השבת, it's not water for Shabbat. It's not water to get heat for Shabbat. The rabbi looked at him and he said, and what if it will be your son? That's it. Rabbi Yehuda Tzadka, he got a message. He said, I understand, and he didn't talk a word. At the night time, they came to the rabbi, they told him, Rabbi, your son was arrested in the protest, and he got hit and beat from the police officers. He told them, that I knew already from the morning. That I knew already from the morning. When my Rabbi said, and what it will be your son, I knew that will happen. I knew. Because he said it. That is the only mouth of a Talmid Chacham. Another student of Rabbi Ezra Atiyah was Rabben Zion Abba Shaul. Look at what is the power of a Pei Kadosh, holy mouth. One day he was invited to a Hanukkah Habayit of one of his students. They invite the rabbi came, his student invite the rabbi to the Hanukkah Habayit of his son. He says, Rabbi, come to the Hanukkah Habayit of my son. So, this guy was 50, 55, 60 years old. And the rabbi came, they had the Seudah. At the end of the Seudah, the father, the Talmid of Ben Zion Abba Shaul Zechuto Tagen Aleinu, he came to the rabbi and he says, Rabbi, you can bless them. You can bless Ben Zachar with the Ben Zachar. The rabbi told him, Yehi Ratzon, Sheyeh Lecha Ben Zachar. He told Rabbi, not me. I'm already 55 years old. My son, he says, him also. Same week. The father and the son, they had the baby boy. That is the power of a Pei Kadosh. When you Kadosh, your mouth and your speech has a big power. You know who said that? The Khatam Sofer, the Chida Alav Shalom in this week parasha. You have a pasuk in this week parasha that the pasuk said, Lo yachel devaro. Lo yachel devaro. Don't Chaz v'shalom disgrace you words. Don't lechel, lo yachel, don't disgrace. You said something, keep it. You said something, you have to fulfill it. You cannot say and not to fulfill it. Says the pasuk, lo yachel devaro, don't disgrace your words. ככל היוצא מפיו, all what you are bringing out from your mouth, תעשה יעשה. Says the חידה עליו השלום. This pasuk first, it's an order. It's a mitzvah. You're not allowed to discuss your word. You have to say and to fulfill all what you said. But says the חידה עליו השלום also, if a person is in a level that לא יחל דברו, is not discussing his words, now everything ככל היוצא מפיו, all what he will say, יעשה השם יתברך. Hashem will fulfill it. If a person is keeping his words and is never discussing his words, you said something, you will do it no matter what. You have people that then when they saying something, it's not a matter what, never they will change their word. Even if they will lose $100,000, they will not change their word. You know, we have in the Gemara two tzaddikim that they was blind. You know the tzaddikim who was blind, Rabotai Ekarim? Rav Yosef, he was blind. And also, what? Rav Sheshet, he was blind. You know why they was blind? Why they become blind? Says the Gemara, it's mentioned not in the Gemara there, but Shuvot HaGeonim is brought in Sha'aret Yeshuvah, Siman Kuf Ayin Chet, he says the follow. Rav, the rabbi of Rav Sheshet and Rav Yosef, he had 10 special anagot that he was behaving. He was behaving in a special, holy ways. One of the ways of Rav was that he was looking outside of his 6 feet. Never he was looking the face of somebody when he was talking to them, even if it's his students. Always his head and his eyes, they was lowering down. He had a lot of other stuff, 10 other anagot. When he passed away, each one of the students of Rav said, we'll adopt that anhaga. And Rav Sheshet and Rav Yosef, they said, we'll adopt the anhaga that Rav is not looking outside of his 6 feet and is not looking the face of somebody that he's talking to, he's never raising his eyes. They took it upon themselves. Says the Midrash, but they couldn't make it. They tried, but they couldn't make it. It was too hard for them. What they did, they said, we took it upon ourselves. They make themselves blind just to keep what they took upon themselves.
Then they can't even learn.
They was learning everything by heart. They said the Midrash Geonim, they went to a room, they were sitting in a room, a dark room for a few days. And then they left the room and they was looking the sun right away, straight, they become blind. And they took it upon themselves because they said, if you took it upon ourselves that we're not allowed to do it, we don't have anywhere to come back, to go back. No. Look at the level of tzaddikim. Today, a person is promising something, and when you're telling what you told me, I promise you, but I didn't promise that I will fulfill it. I didn't promise I will fulfill it, you know? And a person say, okay, who cares? I just say, what is the problem? I didn't promise, I just said. What do you mean you just said? You said. If you said it, but you have to do it. No. It's not signed. I didn't have a contract, but you give a word. A word is a power. Keep your words. Be a man. No. It's not important. It's not chashuv, Rabotai Ekarim. Ay. That is the introduction. Now we want to start the shiur, but it's late, but I will tell you, Rabotai Ekarim. One of the most important and wonderful mitzvot in the Torah is the mitzvah of nedarim. Look at what is a neder. What is a neder? A neder can change and establish and give a new title, a new, level for a simple food, let's say. You have a simple food, mutar, everyone is allowed to eat it. It's permitted. Somebody is coming and is making a neder, a promise that he's not going to eat that food. What happened to that food for this person is becoming asur, like non-kosher food. What happened? It's a kosher food. What do you want? It's a cake. It's the same cake that yesterday I was eating. No, Habibi. When you say the word they create a new reality. Like we saw in the pictures of this Professor Matot from Japan. Is creating a new reality. It's a fact. Rabotai Ekarim. A person that made a promise that he's not going to eat on Shabbat and Yom Tov. He's not going to drink wine. He made a promise. You have a mitzvah to make kiddush on wine. But because he made a promise that he's not going to drink wine, he's not allowed to drink wine, according to the halacha. But why? I have a mitzvah. Habibi, a promise creating a new reality. Now you're not allowed. Now you're not allowed. You can switch something from kadosh to be asur and from regular to be kadosh. How you are making something kadosh? How you sanctify something? How you give something to the Bet HaMikdash? You made a promise. That is donated for the Bet HaMikdash. What is becoming? A hekdesh. If somebody will use it now, he has to pay to the Bet HaMikdash first the principal and also 20% on top. Why? Because it's a hekdesh. And if it's a hekdesh, how is becoming a hekdesh? It was a simple sheep. It was a simple cow. Yes, it was a simple cow. Until the second that the person made the hekdesh, and now this animal become holy. You understand the power of the speech? Rabotai Karim, the Gaon Rabbeinu Aaron Kotler, he says, Hine, me'ilchot ha'pele, from the wonderful halachot, yesh lilmod godel inyan hadibur. You can learn the power and the strength of the speech. וכמה זהירות צריך להרבות בעניין הדיבור. And how much careful we have to be careful about the speech. והסברה נותנת. And it's also logical, says the rabbi. Why? Because the pasuk in Sefer Bereshit said, ויהי האדם לנפש חיה. The human being, the person, Adam HaRishon, he was a nefesh chaya. And what the Targum is explaining, Rabotai Ekarim, Baruch Haba, says the Targum, lenefesh chaya, leruach memalela. You know what is the definition of a human being? What is the definition of the human being? Ruach memalela. Ruach memalela means the power and the ability to talk, to have the speech. Because that is the whole essence of the human being. And because Rabotai, that is the whole essence of the human being, now you understand how powerful is that. Because what is our essence? The neshama. And the neshama is the power to talk. What is the proof? The animals also, they have ruach. The animals also, they have nefesh be'emit, not ruach, nefesh be'emit. But the animals, they cannot talk. Why? Because they don't have the ruach. Vayi ha'adam lenefesh chaya, says the Targum, leruach memalela. All what Hashem put inside of the human being, it's not just the ability to live, to be alive. That also animals have. What we got extra is the ability to talk. And in that part, we exactly as Hashem Yitbarach. Bereshit bara Elokim, ki b'tzelem Elokim asa et ha'adam. That, Rabotai Karim, is the introduction. Bli Neder Shabbat, we continue to talk about this. Because Be'emet, we just start to explain what is the power of speech. We show the picture from the research of Professor Matot in Japan. That the speech, the words, has a big impact on the reality. Even Goyim, by saying good words, they're switching the reality. Imagine what happened when you are saying a good words of Kedusha. What's going on? And we'll end with this, Rabotai Karim. I had a book in the house, it's called Amalach. It's a book that was written by the son-in-law of Rabbi Spiegel from Yerushalayim. And it's coming for the Sukkot time usually, with all his tzaddikim, mamash, a holy man. And in this book he's talking about Rabotai Karim, a real story, a real person. He was a professor in one of the universities in America, somewhere in the south, and he wasn't connected to religion at all, this guy. But since he was very young, he had the ability, he got a gift from Hashem Yitbarach to see the elo. You know, when you look in the person, you cannot see it by your eyes. But in this book also is showing that you have a camera, and I saw it once in my life. You have a camera that can show you what is the level of the person based on the elo that's surrounding the person. You have a camera that this camera showing you. The camera, is standing. You passing by. Everyone that's passing by, you will see a different color around him. It's not the same to everyone. Because everyone has a different Rabotai Karim level. You see, that is the research. I saw it, by the way, the guy came to Tov Shul. And that is the difference. You see different halos around people. Every color is representing a different level. Bekitzu Rabotai Karim. This man, he had the ability to see it by his eyes. You need a camera. Today we have a camera that can show you. You put it in the face of this guy, you have a different color. You move it to the other guy, different color. What is more amazing, even if you have a certain color, when you wear tefillin, you're getting an upgrade level in your halo. Means you now automatically getting an upgrade in your spirituality level. This guy, Bekitzu Rabotai Karim, he had this ability, and since he was very young, he used to see it. And the parents in the beginning, they was thinking that it's not normal, but when they saw that he was insisting and always mentioning that, they say, okay, you know what, keep it for yourself, don't talk about that, because people will try to think that you're not normal. And he was talking in one of the classes in the university, and suddenly in the middle of the class, he stopped and he said to one of the students, what you did? The guy can't get shocked. He said, what I did? I didn't do nothing. I'm listening to you. No, what you did? And after he realized that he's screaming on the student, even though he didn't do nothing, he said, okay, we'll talk after the class. When they finished the class, he came to him and he said, I'm sorry that I was reacting like that, but I will tell you and I will share with you something. I have this ability to see halos. And I'm living with that already for years. And when I'm talking to each other, I'm seeing right away what is the color, and I get used to it for that. But today, in the middle of the class, when you was doing something, I saw that your color changed right away and upward like 3 levels up. And that's why I was shocked. What happened? What you did? I saw that you said something, but I didn't know what. And he told him, I was eating an apple and I said, Beracha. I said before I ate the apple, Borei Peri Ha'etz. He said, what is that? Because that is the magic words. You understand what you did? He said, I don't know. I said the Beracha. He said, you have to know when you said these words, you got an upgrade in your levels in a second. You don't know what you did, and he started to explain to him, he did teshuvah, and it's in Yerushalayim today, one of the rabbis that is in Marbitz Torah.
Which rabbi is this?
No, he has the name. But he said, look at that. A word of Beracha, what is causing. A word of Kedusha, what is causing. Shenizker Rabotai came always to talk good words, holy words, and to always create positive and blessings, to bring blessing to the world. Lanu ulechol Israel, amen. כן יהי רצון. בכבוד הרב. כן, רבי חנניה.